Welcome to the 1204. America has a very big problem with murder-suicide. Murder-suicide is when a man shoots his wife or girlfriend or romantic partner, then he turns the gun on himself. Sometimes, after killing the wife, he will then shoot the children or the child before killing himself. Justin Fairfax, he committed murder-suicide. Fortunately, with the Justin Fairfax situation, he spared the lives of his children. Because sometimes these men, after shooting the woman, they will shoot the children or child, then turn the gun on themselves. Fortunately, we did not see that in this situation. He just took out the wife and took out himself. Forget the fact that he has traumatized his teenage daughters for the rest of their lives. At least he spared their lives. And that's got to be a good consolation. Unfortunately, this is not the first time we have seen something like this from America, and this certainly won't be the last time. A lot of men in America, they have a very, very dark mentality. They have a disturbing mentality. They have a mindset of, if I can't have her, nobody will. These guys obviously take the wedding vow, death do us apart. They take that very seriously. No, you cannot get a divorce. No, you cannot leave me. There's only one way out, and it's death. You see this type of thing all the time. You see men killing their wives. I remember a story. It was this black woman. She left her husband, and the husband turned up at her place of work. She worked in a school. She worked in a primary school. Sorry, I think you guys call it kindergarten. We call it primary school. So she worked in a school. This bastard went and bought flowers. Now, I don't think the head teacher or the school security knew much about it, about her situation with this man. So the guy turns up at the school with flowers, and he tells, I'm assuming it was the security at the school, that he just wants he wants to surprise his wife with a bunch of flowers. And they thought it was cute. He walked into a classroom and he showered her with bullets, not only killing her in the process, but accidentally killing a innocent 7-year-old boy. Then he, in typical American fashion, he turned the gun on himself. Why could he not just let her be? When I first learnt about that story, that's what I was saying to myself. Why not just let her be? She doesn't want to be with you no more. Let her be. A lot of this comes from the access to firearms, the easy access to firearms. I remember having a conversation with this American lady, and we was discussing this very topic about murder suicide, and she said to me, "Why don't that happen a lot in England?" And I said to her, "Don't get it twisted. Some people here do kill their partners. A lot of, well, not a lot of men, but some men here do kill their girlfriends or their wives here. But it will be much more if there were guns involved. Because you have to remember, and this is the thing about guns, these men, if you look at this guy here, Justin Fairfax, this guy is not some thug on the street corner. This is not a violent thug, but this is a human being. And there is a thin line between love and hate. And as soon as that line is crossed, and you're dealing with somebody who has access to a firearm, this could very, very likely end up being a recipe for absolute disaster. Because it has all the ingredients for disaster. You have a man who loves a woman. He now hates her because she doesn't want to be with him no more. You have somebody who is angry. Has somebody who is absolutely enraged. And that person has access to a firearm. What do you think is going to happen? See, because here's the thing. I seriously doubt that the numbers will be so high in America with murder-suicide or men killing their wives or killing their girlfriends. I don't think the numbers will be that high if there weren't guns involved. Because it's easy to kill something with a gun. You just point it in a direction where you want to stop life, and you press that button, and those magical bullets come out and they make it all happen for you without you getting close and personal. Without that gun, see, you can kill somebody without a gun, but you've got to have something about you. You've got to go over there and you've got to make it happen. You cannot stand across the room. You can't lean out of a car. You have to go over there and you make it happen. So you have a country like America where it's as easy to get a gun as we over here can buy a cup of tea. You can probably get a gun quicker than you can get a cup of tea over here. and they are wondering why they're having this issue. What is it they say in America? They do checks. Listen, the checks don't mean jack shit. You can check someone all you want. It doesn't mean anything. Because at the end of the day, like I said, these guys who are doing a murder-suicide, a lot of the time, these guys are not thugs. These are not the street corner thugs with a illegal firearm with the serial number scratched off from it. These guys purchased those firearms legally. They ticked every box for it. But there's one box you cannot tick, and that box is what happens if you get angry. Because human beings, we get angry. And then you've got these weird laws in America, in some parts of America. You've got sudden passion. Sudden passion. There was this fat bloke. I'm not joking. Just type in man shoots wife live on Facebook. This fat, bald bloke. His wife was having an affair. And in typical American fashion, he confronts her with a gun. And he tells her, "You're about to meet Jesus." And I don't think the wife took him seriously. She was just like, I can't remember the guy's name, but she was just like, "Hank, are you really going to shoot me, Hank? Hank, are you going to shoot me? Really? On Facebook Live?" And then he went to her, "You're going to meet Jesus." Boom. Shot her twice in the head with a shotgun. Can you imagine the mess that would have made? And this guy only got about 8 years in prison for that. Because it was sudden passion. Which confuses me, because I thought sudden passion was if you walk into your house and you see your wife getting boned, and you pull out a firearm in typical American fashion, and you kill that person. Basically, you could use that as an argument in court, because that was sudden passion. I don't know. I just find it very, very disturbing whenever I hear about somebody who has killed somebody that they used to share a bed with. That makes me feel very, very uneasy, especially when there's children involved. Because surely, if you kill your wife, you're going to break your children's hearts. And I suspect that's why these guys take their own lives after. Because they do it and then they regret it straight after. And it's like, "Oh my God, what have I done?" And then they turn the guns on themselves. Very few of these men who kill their wives actually stick around to deal with the consequences. Look at O.J. Simpson, aka Orinful James. Big Orinful. Look at the mess he made in that house. Butchered those two people. These were two human beings he butchered. Almost decapitating the young man that was in the house. Because he went to the house and he saw another man in his wife's house. And that's the thing. Just because she didn't want to be with him no more, just because the judge said, "You can't go to the house no more, that's not your house anymore," it doesn't matter what some white man says in a court. It doesn't matter what she says. In OJ's mind, You are my property. If I can't have you, no one will. So as soon as he saw that younger man in the house, he would have fucking went berserk. And unlike OJ, he did not do it the American way. I don't even think he even planned it to even kill anyone. Because why would he turn up there without a firearm? Went to the house. I suspect the guy came out with a knife, to be fair. I really do believe that. And then all hell broke loose. Orinful went crazy. Stabbing and cutting. But who remembers that slow car chase with Orinful James? I suspect he was trying to take his life. I'm sure there was a firearm in the car. And I think he was planning to take his life after doing that. Because he thought to himself, he did not want to stick around to deal with the aftermath of the shit show he has created. And they managed to talk him out of not doing it. And the rest was history. I'm sure there was a rapper. Can't remember his name. He did something like that. I'm sure this guy was hanging out with Floyd Mayweather. I forgot his name. I'll put his name in the comment section after making this video. But he had problems with his wife or whatever, and he ended up killing the wife and killing himself in typical American fashion. This has been going on for years. I mean, this is definitely not Romeo and Juliet like. This is just wickedry on a very, very high level. If she don't want to be with you, she don't want to be with you. Let her go. Think about the children. And trust me in this one. I think Americans, this is a big thing in America because the easy access to firearms. Because like I said, without those guns, you have got to have something about you to take a human being's life. You've got to go over there. You've got to make it happen. You can't shoot somebody from a building, from a rooftop. You can't lean out the car whilst the vehicle's moving. You can't do none of that nonsense. You've got to go up to that person and you have to take their life from them. A lot of these people they're not ready for that level of violence. They're not wired up like that. I believe if we had the access to firearms here in the United Kingdom, I believe we would see more of that type of situations. We will see more of that. We will see more of that type of behavior in the United Kingdom, where somebody shoots the wife and then shoots the kids and shoots themselves. Sometimes they even kill the dog as well and the cat. They kill everything. See, we had a situation, oh my God, my mind's gone blank. There was this dude, but he went from London, he was from off ends. It was like off the manor somewhere. This guy was off ends, and I think his Thai wife left him, or she was from the Philippines, something like that. And this guy, he had a licensed firearm. It was a rifle. It was a rimfire rifle, because we're not allowed pistols in the UK. I mean, it's very hard to get a license. They call it a firearm certificate. It's very hard to get that in the UK. Let me just give you an example of how hard it is to obtain a firearm certificate in the UK, because I've tried to get one before. And no, I don't have a criminal record. I'm squeaky clean. So they will ask you. So you go to the police station and you get a FAC form, a application, and they will ask you, "Are you part of a gun club?" And you will say no, but then they will say to you, "Well, you need to be part of a gun club. That's the first requirement." Okay, but then you go to the gun club. Okay, I want to join the gun club. They'll ask you, "Do you have a license?" And you'll be like, "No." And they'll be like, "Well, you can't be part of the gun club without a license." But then you can't get a license without being part of the gun club. So the people who shoot, the people who are allowed firearms, a lot of times these are very, very rich people. Rich white people who live on farms. And I only wanted to get one because I collect air rifles, and we have a legal limit of 12 foot-pounds of energy. That's how powerful the guns are. But I wanted to be able to turn the power up on my air rifles legally. So that's why I wanted the certificate. Hold on. So that's the only reason why I wanted the certificate, so I could make my air rifles more powerful. So anyway, there was a guy who had he had a rimfire. His wife left him. Believe it or not, the police actually confiscated his guns, but then they gave it back to him, even though they knew. See, they confiscated his guns because they knew that he was acting erratic. So they confiscated it, but legally, the police couldn't do anything about it because at that time he still ticked all the boxes to own those guns, even though people knew that, listen, this is a bad idea. But the police couldn't do anything. The hands were tied. And this guy went on a rampage and killed like 12 people. All you guys got to do is type in taxi driver in the UK goes on killing spree. This guy just killed 12 people. And then he did himself in. I mean, you had a situation with Raoul Moat. Now, Raoul Moat was different because Raoul Moat was a criminal. He was an actual criminal. But as soon as he found out that his wife was banging the next man, sorry, not even his wife, his baby mother was banging the next man, he went on a rampage because he had access to a firearm. And he got it and he went on a killing spree. Now, if Raoul Moat did not have access to a firearm, then that's a different story altogether.